Hello and welcome to the final tutorial video for the Asoka DBQ. We are now in lesson 4. The learning target is to be able to write one body paragraph that supports whether Asoka should be remembered as a ruthless conqueror or enlightened ruler. In this lesson, you will complete an Emily citation quiz. You will outline your evidence and write and submit a paragraph in Schoology. So right now if you would like to take the Emily citation quiz to test your prior knowledge, you may. Or if you would like to listen to my tutorial on that and then take it, you can do that as well. Evidence. There are two ways that you can use evidence. You can either use a direct quotation or you can use a paraphrase. So direct quotation is when you use the exact words from the text or the source, and paraphrase is when you take those same ideas and you put them in your own words. Here are some examples of that. Asoka stopped conquering new territory because with the conquest of Kalinga, the consolidation of the empire was complete. So you can see here I have my quoted evidence, and then I still cited. I use the last name of the source, the par, and then I put my period at the end of the sentence. And I have a note down here at the bottom that says, do not start a sentence with quotation marks. You must use a transition to introduce the quotation. Paraphrasing the beginning is a great way to do this, and you can see that is how I incorporated this direct quote into my evidence. And a paraphrase of this same idea is, after conquering Kalinga, Asoka was done expanding his empire because the unification of the subcontinent of India was complete. The par, period. So you can see that it doesn't matter whether you use a direct quotation or paraphrase, you always have to cite your evidence. Okay. And one way to do the paraphrase, you can see like when it says notice the difference, like this word consolidation, I found a synonym and I used unification, trying to unify the subcontinent of India. The information isn't exactly the same. You can see some added information when I'm talking about like new territory. I was like referring to Kalinga. So there are, it just shows you how you can put words and in a different way than the original source. So I hope that helps you kind of distinguish the difference between a direct quotation and a paraphrase. They come from the same place, and you still have to cite your evidence no matter what. The next slide re-emphasizes what I just said, in which all evidence must be followed by MLA in-text citation. And a little reminder, don't forget. Your in-text citation, here are examples of what we should be seeing at the end of each evidence. You put, if you're getting something from the background essay, it should be background and then end parentheses and then period. The par, would, Maria, and then one that's referring to the book. I found a book of Asoka's edicts, and this is from page 1, page 17. So you only do that if the source has that information. This slide further emphasizes what we were just talking about. Just notice that the period comes after the parentheses. And these examples here are the same as what you saw on the previous slide. Just kind of reinforcing the use of correct MLA citation. Now that you are confident with MLA citation, you are prepared and ready to outline your body paragraph. And please remember that you only are writing one paragraph. So you're taking one of the reasons. I would choose the first topic of your claim, because that's how you would do it in order, and to begin your body paragraph. You can see here we have a sentence starter. You can use something different, but one reason Asoka was, and then include either ruthless or enlightened. was because of, and then this is the topic of, that's like your first bucket. And then your evidence. Evidence supports your topic sentence. And to exceed standard, remember evidence needs to come from 2 different sources. And of course, as I've said many times already so far, remember your MLA citation, and it's the author's last name. It comes at the end of your evidence. I have here a Virbank. The Virbank is a great way to inspire your writing and to get variety. So I encourage you to review that using words like confirm and demonstrates. Implies is a good one for in your reasoning. And then your academic language. You want to be aware of the banned words and using third person, avoiding contractions. And still remember that, academic language and writing, it's structured. So that's why we're following the order of topic, sentence, evidence, reasoning, evidence, reasoning. It's concise. You're not making, your paragraph should not be 10 sentences. It should be about 5. And of course, it is cited. And before you get your, you do your final submission, it's important to review the rubric. To meet standard, you only need evidence from 1 source. The difference from meeting standard to exceeding standard is that your evidence comes from 2 different sources. I said that a couple slides ago when we were looking at the outline of your paragraph. So that means you might have one example of evidence from Wood and the other could be the background information, etc. And also the difference between meeting standard and exceeding standard is looking at transition phrases that are thoughtful and intentional. So that means for example, your evidence shouldn't all start with for example, and your reasoning both of them shouldn't say it shows. Use that Virbank. There's also a link on Schoology for ideas for transitions to be more intentional about the word choice that you're using to persuade and convince the reader that your argument is strong. All right, you are now ready to submit your paragraph. You will go to the icon on Lesson 4 in Schoology and submit your 1-body paragraph that supports 1 example from your claim. Okay. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And good luck and have fun.